I'll be just walking you guys through what we do as a club today. Uh, First of all, before I begin, like if you could all like introduce yourself, like what program you're coming into, and like why you were interested in Firmza. I guess I'll just give you an overview then. So FARMSA stands for the Farm Student Association. It's a club within Waterloo under MathSoc. Our general purpose is to create an environment where like-minded individuals who are interested in finance, they can come together and learn from each other. So we have a few teams within our group. Our main team is market research, which basically produces monthly newsletters where we delve deep into different topics, macro and micro both, and then we try to understand what caused them and what repercussions they have in the coming future. The second thing that we've started doing whilst over COVID is a podcast on Spotify. This has basically replaced our weekly market commentaries. Within the podcast, every 2 weeks, we pitch two stocks. Our analysts, they pitch two stocks, and then we compare the pros and cons, and then we end up with like one picked stock which we add to our stock portfolio, and then we track the performance of the stock over a holding period. And the third thing that market research produces are weekly market summaries. These are basically a snapshot, a 6-page snapshot of what major things happen, like four big events, and then it tells you like which indicators moved and how they moved, and any earning call in the upcoming week. So that's market research. Other than that, we have our events team, our finance team. Our events team helps us in dealing with MathSoc and creating event timelines and event calendars for the term. And they also help us with the logistics of events. Like you guys might have known, we're holding a stock pitch competition. So the events team was pretty helpful in that. The finance team is basically responsible for the internal budget of the club, talking to MathSoc, getting it approved, and then making sure everyone's reimbursed. And then we have our IT team, which is basically responsible for managing the Farmza website and uploading and updating stuff on our social media platforms. We also have a marketing team, which is basically responsible for managing all those social media handles and creating posters and banners for all the events that we host in any term. And there's the last team that we have is internal. It's basically responsible for the communication, taking notes, meetings, setting up meetings, and sending out emails and stuff. So that's what Formza is. I'd be happy to help you guys answer any questions if you have. So currently, our general meetings are every Saturday. Uh, these are all held over Zoom, but in person, we used to host weekly club meetings at M3, one of the math buildings. That's where the firm's office is. So yeah, they're held every week. For other teams, it's up to their discretion, but I think market research has a weekly team meeting as well because they have intensive work, so they need updates as well. What about this? So currently we're just holding a stock pitch competition this term. This is the first time Farms is holding one. It's two tiered. Like first one is basically the registrations closed last Friday, and the participants they have like a week to prepare a 8 to 10 page report, where they're basically going to be discussing the financial standing of the company, uh, creating valuation metrics, and then submitting the report this Friday, and we'll be judging them based on a set criteria that we sent out to the delegates. Once that's complete, we'll notify the teams that have qualified to proceed into the semifinals, where they'll be presenting in front of a panel of judges. It'll be a 10-minute presentation with a 5-minute Q&A. And yeah, that's it. We're also hosting a workshop during that time, which is basically intro to valuation, where we'll talk about how to value companies and what are the different metrics used in the valuation world. And there's going to be an alumni panel of Waterloo grads, especially farm grads, that we've reached out to and who will be attending, and they'll be answering different industry related questions that the participants might have. So yeah, and yeah, usually the sort of events that Farmza holds is basically Finance 101, Finance 102. These are events where we basically do an overview of the finance world, like what buy side is, what sell side is, what a hedge fund does, what's a mutual fund, that sort of stuff. And then we have some tutorials as well. We've done a Python tutorial where we basically walk through how to use Python in finance and like what are the main uses of Python in finance. We've done an SQL tutorial in the past as well. So those are some of the events that we've held in the past. This term, we're hosting an into the yeah, that's all. So to join the club, at the start of each term, we basically post our analyst applications on our Facebook page, or our Instagram handle. So keep checking our Facebook page at the start. I think for fall it will be sometime end of August or first or second week of September when the analyst applications will be posted. So yeah, it's usually you apply with a resume and there's a couple of questions as to why you want to join Farmza and like what skills you have from your past experiences that make you a good fit for the role. So yeah. Yeah, just on that, I'm not quite sure what you mean by the simulated. Sorry, I think you're talking about stock track, which is basically part of your degree. You have to complete 5 milestones. I was part of the 2017 batch, so I don't have to complete that. But from what I know, it's basically I have a set milestone that you have to complete every term. You get $1 million in a simulated equity portfolio, and then you're supposed to make a trade, a particular set of trades every term, which is predetermined by the milestone, and then you write a report like a 500-page essay on what you learned from that and like how you made money and everything. So yeah, and you manage that as part of your portfolio. And there's like a ranking. You can see how you rank amongst all your farm peers in that year of yours. Yep. I hope that helps. Any other questions, guys? You can even ask general questions about like what to do or like the farm program in general. Happy to answer those as well.